Oh, didn't see you there, sorry. I was using Google Translate. Google Translate is a machine translation service that takes one text and translates it from one language to the other. Developed by Google, it is accessible via a website interface, a browser extension, and mobile apps. As a multilingual based service, Google Translate supports 100 languages at various levels. The original version launched in 2006 and relied on a statistical matching process in order to translate. That means that it relied on linguistic data that was gathered via transcripts, as well as language patterns that were picked up from documents in order to sort of predict and simulate accurate translations. At times, though, this could lead to translation mistakes and oddities. As of 2017, though, the translation service now relies on a neural machine process and helps generate much more accurate results. This involves the use of an engine that is capable of translating entire sentences in the proper language structure rather than piece by piece. Though it's not perfect just yet, Google Translate has proven itself to be useful and successful, having won awards and even been applied in pedagogical settings and practices for language learning. So now that you know all about where and how Google Translate started, you can learn how to use it. The only thing is, I don't know exactly how to use it. If only someone could help me.
Steven, did you say you wanted someone to show you how to use Google Translate?
Yeah.
Come, I'll show you.
Alright.
There are many ways you can use Google Translate. To translate a block of text, just copy-paste it into the text box. Then click Translate if it hasn't translated already. Here you'll have the translated text. You can also translate the entire website by just copying the URL and clicking Translate it once again. Then you click on the link, and here you go, the new website.
There's also a mobile app which has different features. The camera can be used to take pictures of text and to translate that. For example, you take the picture, it scans, you can click at the bottom, and it translates the text. The handwriting function can be used to practice your writing. Just write what you want in this little box, and then click the language, and it's translated. This can be used to practice your handwriting if you're using a new alphabet. There's also a voice function which can be used for people who cannot type or to have a conversation with somebody else. Hello, please translate this.
Pretty cool, eh? Steven? Steven, where'd you go? I don't know how to implement this in an ESL setting. I'm sure there's a way.
I have some ideas for you. I actually have the following activities that can be implemented in English as a second language courses as activities that will teach students how to use simple and efficient tools that they may use in other academic subjects or even for personal usage like jobs or even traveling. Here are the following 3 activities. For the first activity, the teacher will ask the students to take pictures of minimum 7 publicities around their neighborhood or city. They can travel to the location as a passenger of a vehicle, a metro, a train, a bicycle, etc., thus allowing them to take pictures of the roadside, the street, or metro publicities. Students will then use Google Translate to translate the signs or the publicities to English and take screenshots as they do so. Once all these pictures and screenshots are collected, they will write short paragraphs explaining their choice and how the translation affected the original meaning. For the second activity, the teacher will Google Translate a short text in English into the student's native language or languages without the students knowing or seeing the original paragraph in English. The teacher will display the composition on the board via PowerPoint, Word document, or a website, and ask the students to translate the text into the original English version.
and this is how they think it will be. When the students are done with the activity, the teacher will show the original text that was written. The top 3 students with the exact or closest paragraph translation will obtain an extra bonus point or a reward as a source of motivation. For the final activity, the students will conduct an interview with an individual that they admire in their close surroundings. This person may not conduct the interview in English. The students will translate the interview with the use of Google Translate and write a short text of the questions and answers they have obtained from the interviewee. The students will submit the original recording and a short text they wrote. The students can then share the projects with the other classmates via Moodle, if the students would like their work to be shared.
Hey Steven, you're just in time for the conclusion.
Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, now that we've gone over the activities, let's go over the students. The target group for the activities is students either in their last year of high school or those that are about to enter their post-secondary education. The activities were designed for ESL students at the intermediate level. If these activities were being enacted in Quebec, you could assume the first language would be French. With that said though, the activities were intentionally designed to be friendly towards any ESL student regardless of their first language. In other words, their L1 is of no consequence. Because Google Translate was introduced during the generation of these students, learners of this age group should be familiar with these applications and services. For this reason, the service is easy to use and implement in the context of the students. For an adult learner that is older than the other students, they shouldn't have too much trouble as the technical knowledge that is required to work Google Translate is not too heavy. The platform in which these services are offered were designed to be accessible. Some of the language learning theories that the basis of these activities revolve around include the importance of noticing, the promoting of autonomy, and the social constructivist theory. The importance of noticing comes from the students being expected to notice a word that is being presented in their native language and to be filled in a particular box in order to translate and present it in another. The students would then need to visually notice the translation that they should recognize as being presented in their target language. The promoting of autonomy comes from the students needing to be able to have some hand-eye coordination when using a device that utilizes Google Translate. It also helps to have some technical knowledge in order to be flexible when interacting with the service, and then other general autonomous functions include the ability to see, to read, to type, and associate words with other ones. In other words, all of this would be needed in order to proceed with the activities. In regards to the social constructivist view, you can see that the students in the activity are using the words that they're familiar with in their native language, translating them into the target language, and then using those as the building blocks to format what would be an English translated transcript. As an approach to learning, translation becomes a familiar concept for these learners. In the end, there's a lot regarding learning theories that can be applied to the benefits of Google Translate and the activities that have been set up here. Isn't that right, Kurt? And they're gone too. Thanks for listening.